After doing a lot of research on the 2022 Tundra, seeing a double cab in person, driving the new Crew Max, examining a lot of the details on these vehicles and going over them in depth, I'm going to tell you what I think the top 5 modifications that you need to do on the 2022 Tundra. The first mod I'm going to tell you right away, and it's different than my second gen here. The second gen, the first mod that I really needed was the spray and bed liner. I don't know why trucks come without them. Fortunately for the 2022 Tundra, it comes with a composite bed. That composite bed doesn't need spray in. Obviously, Toyota does offer something very expensive to make it less slick. I don't know how much difference that's going to make, because if the spray and bed liners, those are pretty slick in and of themselves. Now, when I travel, I carry a lot of gear with me. One of the things I carry is my generator. Now, my generator has wheels on it, and even though I lock the wheels are plastic, and the plastic rubbing against the spray and bed liner here makes it pretty slick. So what I got from Toyota was the bed mat. And the bed mat makes a big difference from a slippage standpoint. I can put my generator in there. I don't have to worry about it slipping back and forth. When I have the wheels locked, it stays in place very well. Now, I don't know that Toyota has a bed mat available yet, and they probably don't want to do that, because that bed mat cost me about $100, a little less than that. I actually think it was about $90. It weighs roughly 100 pounds. But they would probably rather sell you the several $100 accessory spray-in liner that they offered than this bed mat. And I understand that for those, but that's the first mod I would look for when it becomes available. The second mod I would look for when it becomes available is also back here. Now, I think an essential mod for any truck is a tonneau cover. However, for the new Tundra, I don't think it would be a tonneau cover for me. The reason for that would be that truck is a couple inches shallower in the bed. It's 21 inches versus I'm right about just a shade under 23. Even with my bed mat here, I'm just a shade under 23 inches. And what that means is that I can get my Predator generator into this bed. I would not easily be able to get it into the bed with a tonneau cover. So for that reason, I wouldn't want a tonneau. I would want a soft topper here. And I think I would do a soft topper, and I would look for one in the 2022 once they design them that would fit over that bed, so that you can open it and close it quite easily. Again, I do a lot of traveling, and for me, that would be an important thing to have. The second thing is that bed step that you can get that goes right there by the driver's side bumper. Now, a lot of people don't like that. I've done other videos highly critical that the Tundra doesn't come with a standard bed step, and they said, oh yes it does, you can get one. Well, no, you can get a power bed step with the Platinum and with the 1794 trims. You can't get them on any others. That's it. That's the only way they come. And that power bed step, you can get a mechanical bed step that will go on any of them. The mechanical bed step is $399, or as I like to say, that's 5 years worth of infotainment subscription right there. So that's the price of that. And it's something I think you really need in this truck. Trust me, the first time you go to get into your bed without it, and you've got to climb into the bed. And I actually saw this on a TFL video where they talked to an actual owner, a new owner of a Tundra. He'd had it for a short period of time. He actually had the long bed, and when he wanted to show him his bed, he actually rolled into it. Kind of crazy to me to have to roll into your truck bed. It's not, you know, this isn't the 1970s anymore. People are spending a lot of money, 60 to 70 grand. It should come with a bed step. Since it doesn't, you need to order one, and it will in all likelihood be a mechanical step. Before I move on to discussing the things that I think you need to get that are a little bit pricier, I'm going to discuss some of the things that I had to get in my 2018 that are a little bit pricier that I don't think you need for the 2022. The first one is the head unit. And I know the 2022 has had a lot of problems with its head unit so far. A lot of people are reporting issues with functionality. I do think that'll get worked out, but I got to tell you, the N-Tune system that was in here before I put this system in was just an awful system. It was labor intensive. It was not a user-friendly interface. It worked just fine. It functioned well, but it didn't do anything that was interesting. Now, the nice thing was that I could change it out, but at the point in time when I changed this out, which was well before COVID hit, and I was able to do it for right at about $1,000. Now, I think to do it myself, it would be closer to about $1,500. That's a pretty expensive a piece of equipment. The reason I'm telling you that is because as I get into these other things that are going to be expensive things that I think you need to add to the 2022 Tundra, people are maybe going to disagree with me, but so some other combined expensive things that I needed to add to my 2022 One was the TRD rear sway bar. This truck has a ton of body roll to it when you're driving, and the TRD rear sway bar made a huge difference with that, made it a lot more stable on the ground. The other thing that you see up there is I've got the Firestone Ride airbags. Those are things I had to add. I don't think you're going to need either of these things on the new Tundra. The new Tundra comes available with air suspension system and that variable air suspension system, which I think is available on the other trims, except maybe for the TRD Pro. That one I'm not 100% certain about, but it does come. It's very nice that the new Tundra has that. You won't have to invest in these things that I had to invest. One of the mods I would have liked to have done with my 2018 Tundra that you can get on the 2022 in the upper trims is a towing mirror with blind spot monitoring and power. You can't, and heated, you can't get that in a 2018. You can get power mirrors, you can get power towing mirrors, but you can't get them with the blind spot monitoring and the heated mirrors. You can only get that combination now on the 2022. I think that's another nice thing. I've come up with a less expensive option that works for me, but I would love to have had that option available. Now let's talk about the expensive things you're going to have to invest in. Number one on my list, you're going to need a new front end. You're going to need a new front bumper. You're going to have to dismantle that air dam, which is not going to be anything pleasant. And I don't think, again, that comes on the SR or the TRD Pro. I think it comes on all the other trims. But you're going to have to take that air dam off. You're going to have to take that front bumper off, and you're going to have to get yourself a real bumper with tow hooks. A lot of people may disagree with me on this. I'm not talking about people who are going to the grocery store. I'm talking about people like me that use their trucks to tow, that have towed in bad weather, that have towed where they've seen plenty of people off the road and consider themselves fortunate that they haven't had to use their front tow hooks. I've seen this in winter storms in Texas. I've seen it on the beach at Lone Rock Beach in Utah. I've seen it lots of places where people have to hook up to their front tow hooks. And if you've got an RV behind you, or you're towing something and you have to take that off too and be towed from the rear, or the other choice is to tow you from the front and rip your front bumper off, that's a big deal. And you're gonna have to change that out if you plan on using this truck like a truck. Now this last one is gonna get me comments, and it's of course not gonna be positive comments, but hey, I think this is a subjective thing. The last thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to figure out something with that exhaust sound. Craven has tried to do it. I think it only sounds worse. Quite honestly, the rest of the truck world is going to lose respect for you if you try to make a 6-cylinder sound like something it isn't, and it's never going to sound like a V8, but it doesn't have to sound as bad as it does. We have to wait for somebody to come up with something, and while I'm not somebody who generally advocates changing that out, and I love the TRD exhaust, but haven't gone to it because I don't think it's something that necessarily improves the truck, that sound is so bad coming out of that truck that I have to say we've lost respect for this video. Go ahead and tell me why. Go ahead and tell me what you think your 5 mods are. If you dislike it, tell me why. Tell me what your top 5 mods would be as well. And go ahead and hit like and subscribe. It lets me know what sort of information people would like to see more of.